Previously on fucking Chucky. Greatest line for the opening of a recap ever. Welcome to episode 3. So, we start where Chucky and Jake are having a conversation about, Jake or Chucky inspiring Jake to kill, and he kind of wants to, but, he's a freaking kid who's never killed before. We get into Chucky talking about his own first kill, so we start to get more of the flashbacks. I said right in the last episode that I really hope that they don't go too far into these flashbacks to give a whole lot of detail into Charles Lee Ray's childhood, but they do very much in this episode. Not bad, but they definitely did what I said I was hoping they didn't do. Regardless, it goes on with him explaining how about his first kill throughout the entire episode, kind of spread out. And he's trying to inspire Jake to kill who he hates, because Jake hates Lexi with a passion. And even admits that he wants her dead, but he just doesn't know if he could kill her. He starts stalking her after Chucky tells him that he should really get to know the victim. And he's kind of stalking her through a forest, but he gets the opportunity to attack who he thinks is her, but it ends up being Junior, which makes for a really awkward situation because they both live together, and Junior's like, what the fuck? He's holding a knife. He's holding a whole huge kitchen knife, and he just puts it right behind his back to hide it. Junior doesn't even ask questions, which is weird, because I would be like, dude, what's behind your back? And you would think you would be busted right there, but no. It's funny because Junior and Lexi were wearing, both of them were wearing baby blue sweaters. They weren't jogging together, but it's just funny how they were wearing baby blue sweaters. So cute, whatever. And then Junior basically gets a little bit freaked out and goes to ask Lexi to apologize to Jake, which he absolutely refuses. Now, we get to know a lot more of Caroline, Lexi's little sister, and I can tell at least, she seems very autistic. She has a bit of an autistic problem, which makes sense because she's a genius in a lot of things, especially drawing. But she's very moody and emotional, and she needs specific things to stop screaming and crying. And what happens to be now, the only thing that she wants is Chucky. And for whatever reason, Lexi is very nice to her little sister. Sometimes, because she also treats her like the same old bitch that she treats everybody else, but she's basically not nice to anybody in the show at all, but her little sister. So when she's nice, it's only to her little sister. Everybody else, she's a cunt. But she takes it upon herself, because she wants to give her little sister Chucky, she goes and fake apologizes to Jake at his house. He's in the garage looking at all these tools, which the way he's looking at them, he's looking at huge pitchforks and gardening tools and stuff like that, and they all look like they would make some pretty grisly murders. Anyways, she fake apologizes, and then she basically says, oh, so now that I apologize, can I have something from you? And she mentions she wants Chucky, and he refuses to give it to her. He says, absolutely no way, no how, because he knows Chucky's, ways. Dude, you have the job. I'd be handing him over. I'd be like, yep, take Chucky, take him. He's great. Because he knows, he's obviously struggling to kill himself, and he doesn't want to, but he knows that Chucky has no problem. And if he has a problem with this chick, I'd be like, take him. Take him. I was like, what? That's weird. And then they're having another conversation, and Chucky even mentions it himself. He's like, if you don't have the balls to do it, we can go on and take her offer. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. So he ends up taking it to her, and it's sad because he realizes that it's actually for her little sister, and then he starts to feel really bad. But I mean, Chucky doesn't have a motive for the little girl anyway. He only has a motive for Lexi. So I'm not too worried that he's going to be going after the Caroline. But you never know. Regardless, there's a scene too where both of the parents are in Lexi's parents and Jake's parents or foster parents, whatever, are invited to the school because the teachers found the footage on the phone of the Halloween party where Lexi was dressed as the dead dad, and they're concerned about this. And Lexi's parents are completely stereotypical. Her mother, totally clueless, thinking that her daughter's the victim, which is usually how it goes. And I was just cringing at that. Like, that scene's just completely realistic, you could say. Lexi ends up having another party with her friends where they're all, it's funny because they're all dancing with headphones. Never really seen a party where people are dancing with headphones, but it makes sense because they don't want to wake neighbors. It's probably a school night, and Caroline's sleeping upstairs, so they're listening to all kinds of music. They're listening like hip hop, trap music, techno at one point, and Lexi's being a bitch, flirting with Oliver, which is both her and Junior's friend. And even though Junior and Lexi are dating, she keeps flirting with Oliver, and I'm like, Junior, do you expect anything else? Like, come on, man. Oh, you're young. I wish I could teach you. I wish I could teach you. But he's in the corner sulking because his girl is flirting with this other guy. And I'm like, would you put it past her? Come on, man. I got you. Just go after someone else. That party was filled with good-looking girls. Come on. So yeah, and then Chucky's on his little spree again. There's so many callbacks to the first movie, again, with the little girl compared to Alex Vincent's Andy in the first film, where she's like, I didn't say it, Chucky did. And Chucky wants to watch the news. That's all from the first film. I like that. I'm like, every time there's callbacks like that. Subtle ones. I don't like it when it's too in your face, but subtle ones like that, they definitely catch me. And then you got the flashbacks, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, with Charles Lee Ray's first kill when he was a kid, which is fucked because it's about this killer who, it's not explained whether this killer had a motive for Charles Lee Ray's parents or it was just some random psycho breaking into some random house. Usually doesn't happen that often. It was the 60s, I don't know, but still, usually doesn't happen that often. It was even the Charles Manson situation. Was it targeted? I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that situation, but it, for the most part, I think, from what I've heard, was pretty random. So, I don't know. And yeah, the whole situation where Charles Lee Ray kills his mother, has a first kill, and is like, I helped. There's so much to say about that. Like, maybe he wanted to save himself, so he wanted to impress the killer. Maybe he had it in him, because he says, you know, the best killers are born. Sometimes they just need a little push. And I'm just like, that is one fucked up, grim ending. But I like the contrast between when Chucky is killing in modern time, killing Oliver, back and forth to when this serial killer is killing Charles Lee Ray's parents. And there's trap music playing, and the trap music fits. It fits in both. It fits in the flashbacks, and it fits in the modern times. And he knocks Oliver over, and he's like, oops, I thought you were Lexi. I'm sorry. Goes up to him. Oliver gives the most girly scream in the world. And Chucky's like, fuck it. Starts stabbing the shit out of him. It was funny. It was a funny kill. And then Lexi's smoking weed again by herself, and Chucky comes behind and gives her the classic strangle with a chain, and they're fighting, and she's doing the whole comical like on the wall. I'm thinking to myself, I've seen that so many times in so many things. It reminded me, that's it, of Austin Powers when Mini-Me is like on Austin's neck and he just keeps slamming Mini-Me like on every wall. It was that kind of comedy to me. I don't know, I just found that scene funny, not that scary. But she whips him off. The joint goes to the curtains and lights the curtains on fire, and eventually lights the entire house on fire. And everybody's in headphones, so they can't hear or feel anything, apparently. And that fire spread quick. Like, there was no gasoline anywhere. It just lit the curtains. But the way that fire was going straight down, like, the stair railings and the railings upstairs and just spreading like wildfire. You would think that everything was filled with gasoline or something, but yeah, it was it lit up pretty quick. And like I said, one grim ass, dark ass ending with Charles Lee Ray's story. So like I said, I didn't want too much backstory on him, but it's interesting to know anyways. So that's episode 3. I'm about to watch episode 4, so I'm coming up with that. Stay tuned. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. And more to come, so stay tuned and cheers.